Hey Internet's RJ, welcome back. Thanks for tuning into the show today. Now today is Sunday, so you know what that means. We're going around the net with all the news you can use in the week that was in credit and finance, and we have a lot to get to despite being the start of a holiday weekend. We've got cardless back, shipping cards again. We have BILT rewards taking and gives to the game. We've got a slight tweak to the Freedom Rise card from Chase, and Robinhood Gold 3X card. Where in the world is it? We'll talk about it. So, of course, if that sounds interesting to you, go ahead, press the subscribe button, and let's get to work. Now, we will start off with Cardless, who's been on a run as of late, releasing new cards. You know, they chamber some in this waiting list, which, you know, you should take note. Robinhood, as we'll talk about later, and then they ship them about 3 to 4 weeks later, give or take. So we had Qatar Airways last time. Now we've got Avianca. So let's take a look at these cards that are now out for application. And again, you do have two of them. What's interesting is they didn't really bother to give them names, which I almost appreciate. Is Avianca is the first one from what it seems from the marketing material. $99 annual fee. Multipliers, 2 back on Avianca and life miles purchases, 2 back on groceries and restaurants, 1 back on everything else. You do get a handful of benefits. Silver status, no foreign transaction fees, 5% redemption discount on Avianca flights booked via life miles, lounge access to a degree, priority boarding, not priority pass. Additional check bag, and their intro offers 40K miles for 3K to spend in the first 90 days. If you were on the wait list, you do get I think it's 5,000 for this one, extra miles, and 10 for the Big Brother card. Usually what Cardless has been doing. Avianca Elite annual is the Big Brother. Speaking of it, $250, $249 annual fee. Multipliers, 3 back on Avianca and life miles, 2 back on travel and restaurants, 1 back on everything else. Benefits, more of the same, but you do get a lot of discounts. The marquee benefit here is you can earn double miles up to 1,000 per month. So it does, technically it could make that Avianca go from 3 to 6. That's kind of how they're billing it. Again, up to 1,000 extra miles. Now, the other benefits that change here, 10% back on Star Alliance flight redemptions, up to 25% redemption discounts on Avianca flights, up to 40% more miles on hotels and car rentals as well. Intro offer is a 2-tranche one, so 60K miles with 4,500 in spend in the first 3 months, and an additional 40K miles with 25K total spend within the first year. And again, you do have a little bit of extra on there if you were on the wait list. I think it was, again, 10,000 for the Big Brother card. So there you go. Again, I think they threw a lot on there. The question is always the value. I don't know if it's really worth $250. Personally, these airline cards, a lot of times they just don't come with the multipliers. You can get stronger multipliers for all those categories. So again, you'd really have to want to be flying Avianca or even Star Alliance a lot to take advantage of those redemption discounts and things like that. So, it's fine. Their cards, their offers, I don't know that they're probably worth the annual fee other than to grab the points and in year number one. But if you're traveling and you prefer a more, we'll call it tried and true airline, well, Delta is doing weird stuff again. So Delta has always been, the last few, almost a year now, has been almost a war of over correcting how much status had been given out, airline status, right? They had extended status quite a bit because during the lockdowns, no one could fly. It's not really fair to lose your status, and they don't want to upset all those customers. They've been tweaking the airline, the credit cards, making status a little bit harder to get, making it all spend-based. We assume to, make it harder to get spent, so it's elite again, and they can hand out the perks. Well, funny enough, they are now handing out silver status, a trial run of silver status to some flyers. Points Guy had this for us. There's no rhyme or reason to this and how people got targeted. But some folks have been targeted to get silver status for up to 6 months, and then if they spend and they earn a certain amount of, I think it's just MQDs at this point, they don't really have any other points currency, they can keep it for a little bit longer and extend it out, which is nice. Your main perks, you're looking at, some upgrades, of course, when available to Comfort Plus and things like that. So if they're going to give it to you, great. I just more so find it funny that, half the time is spent saying we have too many people at status, then we cut those people and make it harder for them to get status, and then we target other people. Now, I would imagine they're trying to give people who are borderline a taste of status. It doesn't really make sense to target someone like me just because I have a Sky Miles account for this targeted offer. The idea that you're going to take someone who doesn't you used to travel up, but not so much anymore. And even when you do, don't spend a ton, and I'm automatically going to convert them into a spend-based customer. I don't think it's going to happen. So I would assume that's kind of what they're trying to do, but we don't really know. So if you are targeted and you did get silver, let us know, and let us know what the benefits like you're looking forward to, and would this actually get you on track, trying to spend to extend out your status. So with that said, if you're not an Avianca fan or a Delta fan, you might be an American Airlines fan. And BILT Rewards was an American Airlines fan, but not so much anymore because BILT is dropping American, or more realistically, American's probably dropping BILT. Now, it's not dramatic as I just made it sound. I believe we always knew this was going to happen, but now we know when it's going to happen. And again, we have a date, and that is going to be June 24th. So you do have a little bit of time before that actually happens. That was coming, I believe, View from the Wing had this story first. So, if you like American Airlines and BILT has put out some things to earn points as of late, well, then, ship your points over there now. American, for whatever reason, just doesn't really want to play nice with others. American City had American. They still have the American card. Barclays has American cards to a few, I think. But they just don't stick around as a transfer partner. This isn't really that dramatic. We knew it was coming to an end. We just didn't really know when, and now we have the date. So make your arrangements accordingly. But that's more than enough airline stories for me. And BILT Rewards, they take it, but they're also giving. So if you remember, BILT Rewards has kind of like a dining perk where you can add, not necessarily even have the BILT card, but you can add a credit card to your BILT profile. And if you go to select restaurants in their network, you can earn, BILT points that way. If you have the BILT card along with this perk, you could earn, I think it was up to 8x backs, like 5 for having the card, then the additional 3 for using the restaurant. That really isn't talked about too much, but they are expanding quite a bit with the restaurants included. Again, this one is also from View from the Wing, but they're adding 20,000 different restaurants to this. Now, of course, their marquee ones have always been located in marquee cities, but they're partnering with something called the Rewards Network, which, according to View from the Wing, is kind of like a white label dining program for like airlines and hotels. Seated, a company called Seated, and of course, they're continuing to work on like individual restaurant groups as well. But those are where your 20,000 or so are coming from those. So it really just kind of expanding the program, making it a little bit easier. Now, it is nice touch because again, it's easier to earn BILT Rewards points. You just can't use them from American anymore, but it's nice. I've never used it, but I don't have the BILT card. So if you have, again, let us know what you think of it. Point stacking, when ideal, when it works out, is generally helpful. I don't know if these are kind of like, the Amex, Resi deal, where it's like really like restaurants you wouldn't ordinarily go to, perhaps. But this one sounds like they have a lot more options, so it could be promising there. Let us know, of course. And, with that, we have Chase, because we can't go too long without talking about Chase. Now, Chase has the Freedom Rise card, which is kind of their version of a credit. It's either a credit builder or a student card. It did replace the Freedom Student, and it's kind of their combo, which kind of makes sense because you're kind of the same credit profile if you're rebuilding versus a student when you're on the way up. But anyways, it's been long since then. Like the goal is to get the Freedom Rise. If you had a bank account, they were pretty open with it. You have a bank account, we're more likely to give this to you, but then you could upgrade it yourself, perhaps in year number 2. Or 3, depending on how long it takes you to rebuild. But now there is a small note in the Freedom Rise that says, hey, after about a year, you will be automatically considered for a Freedom Unlimited upgrade. And that's not necessarily bad here, but this comes from Danny the Deal Guru. So the criteria, card members here, Freedom Rise account is open and a purchase has been made on the Rise card within the last 12 months, so you didn't really have to use it that much. All payments have been made on time to all financial lenders in the past 12 months, and no Chase accounts were suspended. Of course, you do not have an existing Freedom Unlimited account. So those are your criteria. I think this is just one. It's a way to re-engage a customer. Requiring one payment in the last 12 months means, hey, we know eventually people might not be using this, but if I just send you a new shiny card that is arguably better than, unarguably better than the Freedom Rise, it might re-engage you as a customer, getting you to use this. And number 2, the people considering this, maybe if you're students somehow watching this show or these shows, you would know to apply for the Freedom Unlimited so you can lock in that intro offer, but it does also take away from that people who would, try to get the intro offer, because technically the Freedom Rise does have a $100 intro offer, I think, sometimes. Not much, but we take all the money here. So all that to say, if you know someone like this who would fit this criteria, just let them know after a year you probably want to apply for the Freedom Unlimited first. Why not the Freedom Flex? Probably pretty simple. It just goes Visa to Visa, so you don't have to switch to MasterCard and explain to this brand new credit person why they're getting a new card and technically a new account. So, whatever, there you go, not too bad. But at least Chase will send you a card because Robinhood doesn't seem like they want to send you a card. If you remember, I don't know, maybe it's been over a month now where we talked about the Robinhood Gold card. It's the classic, well, it's not a classic, it's a new 3X on everything card, which is great because we don't really have a 3X on everything card except, the AOD card, which has been nerfed. It's one of those cards you had to know about at a time, and if you know, you know. I don't have one. But anyways, people are kind of like, hey, where's my Robinhood Gold credit card at? Now, the card was on a wait list, to be fair, and they didn't actually have a launch date. But you have to, to get the react, you have to join Robinhood Gold. So many people have no real interest in Robinhood Gold, which does cost money. And they join to get the card, and the card's not here, but I still have to pay my monthly membership, which is quite annoying, as I can imagine. So, they had an article in, I think it was the New York Times, and they're like, I'm not paying for the New York Times this show, or the Wall Street Journal, sorry, but this is not paying for that one either. But someone always posted to Reddit, and it still looks like the WSJ is reporting about 260,000 people signed up for the gold card in the first quarter of 2024. And, we're also, we're guessing that, again, they wanted the credit card. They also promised a solid gold card we talked about to the first 5,000 people to get 10 people to sign up for gold at $50 a head. But, we don't know how many other people are left. We don't know the status of those slots. Should you keep recruiting? Should you not keep recruiting? All that. We haven't really gotten updates. I mean, maybe if you signed up, you've got an update, but it sounds like you didn't if Wall Street Journal's out there interviewing people. So, I don't necessarily think it's like a bait and switch because in their fairness, they never set a launch date. But at the same time, they most definitely know what they're doing. And they know of those 260,000 people signed up, most was anticipation of the credit card. And there's also, I would imagine, a little bit of concern because Robinhood wouldn't be a stranger to these areas of YouTube and these corners of Reddit. They know we exist, but at the same time, having it on the whiteboard and then realizing 260,000 likely really good card players signed up for this who are lining it up for all sorts of who knows what type of spending, maybe it's concerning. That could be my thought as well, and they're going to reevaluate, like, what do we do? If you look at the wait list now, it says, to reserve your spot, so that kind of, to me, says it's going to be a slow roll versus just shipping them all at once. And you think, even cardless, I mean, granted, I'm pretty sure Qatar Airways and Avianca and all the other cards they've launched have not gotten nearly the amount of hype that this one did, because they didn't dip those in gold. But their wait lists were only around 3 weeks or so, 4 weeks max, and then they ship. It's really just kind of generate a little bit of hype in a way to give you a little bit extra points. So I like the way they're doing wait lists. I don't think wait lists are bad. I do think we got to be a little bit more careful as we move into wait lists that don't really mean anything, especially because now, with the Robinhood card, you could also just wait until the card is readily available and then sign up. Because again, with cardless, at least there's an extra 5 or 10,000 points if you sign up. There is no intro offer, and as much as I think the card is cool, my stance is always I got to be paid to open a banking product, so we didn't really recommend that folks open it. All that to say, I think for Robinhood, someone like Robinhood, who right or wrong has their reputation from the whole GameStop and meme stock deal, again, right or wrong, depending on what you read, would be a little bit more careful about this. So we'll definitely keep an eye on it because I'm interested to see when they come out and who got the solid gold cards. I don't think I was popular enough. I just couldn't end up recommending it because it didn't have an intro offer. So there is that. Now, for a shameless self-serving plug, I have to give a shout out to my good former colleague and friend Sharif, who I saw last weekend, and we actually hung out outside, believe it or not. We were out of the sun, so it helped. But he's a gentleman. He recently got a Rolex Submariner, and he said, hey, I'll put my name down with my authorized dealer for the black and gray GMT on Oyster, so now I technically have my name on 2 places, one under him and then the AD that I went to, and all the man wanted was a shout-out, so we're going to give him a shout-out. We appreciate you, sir. Thank you. So hopefully, we can make that happen, but neither one of us have a ton of spend at our respective dealers, but I think just both one watch each, but he's a much more popular and likable guy than me. much nicer too, because he did this, and I haven't done anything other than a shout out for him. So we appreciate it, sir. And of course, we'll keep the audience who cares posted on my journey to get a black and gray GMT. And if you want a shout out and you want your referral link plug, and you think you have a plug in an authorized dealer, I'll take hookups, man. I'll pay for it, of course. I'll get you a link plugged or something. We'll get you something. So anyways, thank you to Sharif, and of course, thank you all to watching. So if you like this show, drop me a thumbs up down below. If you found it particularly interesting, consider subscribing to the channel, as we are posting content just like this, usually without the shameless solicitation for watches, but sometimes it could be a new segment. Anyways, we're here every week, and of course, right back every Sunday with all the news you can use in the week that was in credit and finance. And of course, every single day over on profitablecontent.com, the channel's blog, always linked down below for you. We have the latest news stories just like this. We have plenty of bank promotions, and of course, we have credit card offers, none of which require a wait list. They're not dipped in gold, but they'll put money in your pocket, and that's really what we're here for, isn't it? Anyways, guys, that's going to do it for this one. As always, thank you so much for watching. I'll talk to you very soon in the next one.